Alright guys, welcome back to another episode. Today is a big day. I just got home from work. We did track a package, which is a very important package. It is our motor. It is over here, if I can get y'all over, underneath the cover there. So, we will reveal that later in the episode, but I do want to give y'all a couple updates. There's been some small stuff I've been working on that hasn't really been worth recording. We did also do a good trade with someone here in town I made friends with that also does electric cars, and we got a lot of our pieces, which saved us a lot of money. So big shout out to you for saying that, or for doing that for me. I don't want to put your name out there, but you know who you are, and thank you. So we'll look at those pieces. I'll show you what I've done so far. Here in a couple days I will have a bodywork guy coming to work on that big dent, on the driver's side back panel over here. Taking a lot of the interior off and out, the rubber, all that stuff. So let's get to looking around, update you guys real quick on all the small stuff I've been working on, and then we'll take a look at the motor. Alright, so first thing is this dent. I tried to massage it out by myself. As you can see, it didn't turn out so well. From the access panel on the back, I couldn't really pop it out. So I have a bodywork guy come in who has all the proper tools to fix this. So hopefully when he's done, we'll get that body line back all the way down here and be able to use that light. The other thing is, I'm sure you can tell right away, I was able to clean this engine bay, cleaned all the wires for the harness and everything. I was able to take my 1/4-inch die grinder tool and to clean this all up. It's not a professional job, but it is a Rust-Oleum job. Clean the voltage regulator here also, so it looks a lot better, doesn't have all those rust spots on it. Sealed it all in, did really nice. There's that access panel. A little bit of dust on it, but it was really nice. So we're going to go here to the interior. I took out the back parcel shelf along with the convertible top. The top I have off and to the side. Hopefully we'll be able to clean that because there's still a bunch of webs in there, tough to get to. I may just spray it with the power washer, so we'll see. But continue with our electric conversion. I think under here will be a great place to put our battery management system. A bunch of small pieces can fit down here, and it actually goes down there quite a ways. Keep y'all straight. Goes down there quite a ways before it hits this flat metal edge that's underneath here. The other thing is I took up all the old rubber padding. You can see the residue, the yellow stuff on the walls there, and I cleaned it all up. All that foam and this kind of material. It's like a felt, kind of hard. You can tell it's old. But I took all that out, lots of time with the scraper, and I also used the Rust-Oleum on that. We do have a hole on our driver's side, middle of our floor. It's actually where that cross, that X cross brace comes straight across here. So I should be able to fill it in pretty easily. The dash is cleaned up. I don't remember in the last video if I showed you guys that. Took off that wood veneer and just kind of die grinded it off, cleaned it all up, cleaned all the chrome and everything, much better. Also took off the door panels. I'll show you the finished pieces of those. Took off the antenna also cleaned up this area, especially around where the brake fluid reservoirs were. A lot of the paint was flaked up and rusting. So what I did is I came in here with a scraper and scraped all the loose stuff out of here and painted all this, so it's no longer going to rust. It's all completely coated. I made sure to take these off and tape up what I wanted to keep original looking. So we'll put the windshield wiper mechanism and everything back in here when we get a nice fresh gasket to go on this lip. Nothing new in the hood really. On the fronts I did the delete of the bumperettes, the little rubber black pieces that are vertical. And then when it came to the blinkers and the reverse light on the back, I took those off completely. All the bolts were rusted on. They all snapped, of course, so I replaced them with stainless steel bolts and nuts with the nylon locking nuts. That way they're not going anywhere. The lenses are fresh and clean. The bulbs are fresh and clean. All the contacts are cleaned up. So that makes all the difference. So we'll come back over here to this side, back to where the dent is, just to give you all a better overview of where we're at. So, took a lot off, just getting it prepped for this body work, and maybe we'll get to paint one day. So, let's go on to the next set of stuff, and we'll get to this motor. Alright, so the next set is part of a trade I did. I had originally got a first generation Nissan Leaf setup, and I was playing with that for a little while, and I just could not get through the logic board. AC is much more difficult than DC, so we ended up going with the DC style. But I'd found a guy through a forum, the DIY Electric Car Forum. A lot of good information there. Definitely look at that if you're thinking about a conversion. But in exchange for the complete setup, I had the inverter, the DC-DC junction box, the motor itself, miscellaneous cables, things like that, the heater core to use for a heater. I traded all that in exchange for this solid aluminum mounting plate. There's already factory holes for a B-face style motor, and then there's also already had holes from a different kind of transmission. This was originally going to go on a Mazda Miata. So what I did is I took our transmission and found the holes, made it nice and level on the bottom. As you can see by B, this is the back. This black line is our transmission bell housing, and these holes are the ones that are for our transmission. He also gave us a coupler. Now this is the most important part, and this is what really made it worth it for me, is this coupler was already designed for a Mazda Miata, like I said, but the Miata had these outside holes. So it's too big for our Fiat setup. So what I did is I took off the old one, and this is our clutch disc that came on the car originally when you disassembled the motor. If you haven't seen that, make sure you check out the video right here when we took it out, and you'll be able to see that. But I re-drilled the holes, I tapped the holes so they have the threads in them, and I ran these all the way through. So this is on there and it is centered. I made sure you use a feel gauge. Made sure these are all nice and level and centered so you can see it's straight through the middle there. And this side has the key shaft. So this will actually couple up to our motor. I'm hoping, haven't tested it yet because we just got it. But that should fit right on there, and then we can put it on here. So when we go to our transmission, the splines match up already, just like that. And there you go. Just like that. Obviously we'll have to create a way for it to be centered and not push back all the way. But if our electric motor mounts up to that, then you can see the axles turning there. So we're a lot closer. The other thing we got is this forced air fan. It's got a little fan in there. I got this in the trade. The filter goes on the end, just like that. Since our motor does not have an internal fan, I needed an external one. This is part of the trade. I was looking all over for these, but this is a custom-made setup. So if you need one of these, you're going to have to figure out how to custom make it. I've been on the internet for hours trying to find one, and I just couldn't do it. So looking at fabricating your own on that. And lastly, this is a Hall-style potentiometer. So I can still use our mechanical gas pedal, and this will send the signal for our throttle, which will go to our controller. So our controller is actually boxed up over here on the shelf. I've got it completely cleaned, sealed in its original foam packaging, so I don't want to break it out of that and have to repack the whole thing. So you should have to take my word for it. But it is an EVnetics Solitron Junior. It's rated for 600 amps, and that's also part of this trade deal that I got all these other pieces with. EVnetics is no longer in business, unfortunately, but it's a super simple setup. There's still a lot of information out there for them. Very user-friendly. I read through the manual in about 30 minutes and it was all very straightforward. So when we get to that stage, to use the controller to do a complete bench test with the motor hooked up to the transmission, and then that Hall throttle sensor that you just saw for the gas pedal, I'll need to get about 48 to 60 volts to use the controller just to be safe. I don't want to sell the controller short on what it can do. Plus we can kind of give it some throttle, which will be fun. So anyway, we're going to stop talking. We're going to look at this motor. I know you've all been anxiously waiting, so let me get it set up here and we'll do the big reveal. Alright, I know you've all been waiting for this moment. But before I get started, make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button, comment. I'm not afraid to answer questions. I may not know the answer, but I'll help you. So anyway, also I have an Instagram. It's 850_EV_project. That's more of an up-to-date way to follow what's going on. So anyway, without further ado, this is going to be our motor. You ready? Oh. Now you may look at it and be like, what the heck is that? So this is a 96 volt Prestolite DC motor. This is a new old stock motor from the late 70s, early 80s, so it was never used. These were originally supposed to go in Subarus, 4-door passenger Subarus. It is a 7-inch motor. Typically, electric car conversions are using a 9-inch, so something like a Warp 9, which is a very common motor to use in electric setups. It's a big motor and it's a good motor. I just think it's a little too much for how little we are. So we're gonna give this a quick test with the 12-volt car battery. I'm just gonna touch it, see how it goes. It's already connected on the top here. You can see this bar. I don't know if it's showing up. You can see this black bar on here. Looks metallic. So hopefully that's connecting the two. You can also see this gold band with this hole here. This is for that forced air fan to blow air into the motor and out. Also, since this is a 7-inch motor, we have a C face. And if you noticed earlier, I said that the mounting plate, the aluminum mounting plate, is a B face. B as in Bravo. And this is a C as in Charlie. So what that means is that the hole positioning, these 4 holes, may not be lined up with the plate. Just because it's a little smaller, the B face is a little bigger. So once we do a quick bench test of this, then we're going to bring over the plate and see if we can get it to line up. Other thing is, you can see the key is already in here, still factory taped, and I can turn it super easy by hand. No problems at all in there. Still got styrofoam from the box. So let me blow out some of this excess styrofoam. I don't want that to get stuck in there. I'll get it set up with the battery, and then we'll do a quick bench test. Alright, so I've got the battery hooked up. Positive's on. Got the negative here. I'm just going to tap it. I put some stuff under here to brace it just in case we get some movement or anything. So, right out of the box, here we go. Oh, this puppy goes. A little noisy. I'm sure you can hear that clicking. It's a little noisy. I don't know if that's a fan inside. I'm going to take this thing off and look. But hey, it works. That's great. So, we're on a good point to start. Just gotta see if the coupler fits and if the mounting plate holes will line up. So, let's move on to the good stuff next. Next is going to be the coupler. Now, the coupler has these 2 bolts up here that can be taken out of their hex head. That way it opens up this completely, and then you can re-cinch it back down. But I'm just going to put it on there as it sits, just to see. Oh baby. Let me take off this tape. I'm going to have to bring y'all down here and show you, because it is like right on. This is some old tape. It's just crumbling. But it's alright. It goes to show the it's just falling apart. Let me back this up so I can show you guys. Because if it's just... Oh yeah. That is like on. Let me show you guys. Get y'all a little better angle. So where the key lines up is just right on. So I think I can, because it's on there. I could take a rubber mallet to it and tap it on there a little more, I think. Sorry about the wiggle everywhere. But see, it's snug on there, which is great news for us. I was worried about this shaft being too big or possibly even too small to where I'd have to start all over again, but man, that's great. So good. Set y'all back up here real quick. Yeah, that is... You seen the dog? That's Bella. Bella! Yeah, she likes people. That's good. So we're just going to leave that on there for the second. And we're going to test our last piece, and that's going to be our force blower, our blower fan. So you see it's got this rubber hose inside of this plastic housing. You can tell how held with pipe clamps and some sort of adapter thing and little blue fan there. I did bench test this. This sucker moves air, let me tell you. So I'm just going to test fit it on here. Oh yeah, it's a good fit. It's a little loose, unless I'm just putting it on there wrong. Yeah. So I'll have to shave down this plastic that's on here because it's got this curvature to it. See, it's got that curve. So if I smooth that out, I think it'll fit on there, but it's fitting in there like really well. See, even move that rubber a little bit. Yeah, shave the plastic and it'll fit right on there, which is good. It's good that all of our pieces that we got in that trade deal are fitting. So we're making progress. So, man, let me get this off and then we'll wrap up. Alright guys, so that was a lot of progress we've done, a bunch of little stuff that I didn't really put on videos. There's a lot of videos on painting engine bays, you know, stuff like that. Cleaning an interior isn't very exciting, so I didn't think you guys would want a video. But the motor works. This is great progress in what we want to do. The coupler fits. That is great. We just have to make a couple new holes for the aluminum adapter plate. It does have a bunch of holes in it right now, but you know, it's a pretty solid piece, so I don't think we're going to have any structural issues with it, especially when we bolt it to this. And then the fan fits. I mean, this is just going ideal for us. So do a little bit of cleanup. This outer shell needs to be cleaned up, so I'll probably take off these bolts and do a little bit of wire wheel cleaning to make it look fresh. And then on to the next part of giving it a test run on just 12 volts with it hooked up to the transmission. So next time, just keep following along and we'll update you as we go.